This is eCommerce Uncensored. Brought to you by Fast Forward Unlimited. We're coming to you fully loaded and exposed with all the strategies and techniques for growing your e-commerce business.
Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us again on another episode of eCommerce Uncensored. This is big episode number 50.
50, baby.
I'm Kevin Manell. I'm here with
Jason Caruso
and
Paul Chu.
And let me first apologize for my nasally voice. I'm a little under the weather. It's that time of year where my kids bring all their germs home from school. I've made it about a week, so no, it's been a month so far since I started. So I usually get it within the first week, but just bear with me. I got this little cold here. So anyway, today we're going to be doing a Q&A. So we'll just kick it off. Go ahead, Paul.
All right, firing it off. Number one, what is a recap email and what makes it effective?
A recap
email. That's that it sounds more like a personal sort of term. A recap email. I mean, if I had to guess, it would be an email recapping a meeting or something. I mean, I don't know what the hell's a recap meeting. Have you heard of a recap meeting?
I don't know. A recap meeting?
Email. I mean, no. Yeah.
I don't know. Where'd you find that one, Paul?
Where'd you find that one at? Well, they're all questions people are asking. So, but anyway, this is referring more to it's recapping that there's a deal that's going to be ending. So I know you guys have talked about like the deadlines, but it's just recapping to reminding them. Okay.
Yeah, I guess it's
I've never heard
a wording type issue.
Yeah.
A recap email. It's not really. I don't know if I'd call it a recap email. It would be more of a
like ending soon.
Yeah, and we always try to. I mean, we've been putting people through sequences of leading up to the end or the recap, quote unquote, email, offer ending soon, offer ending today, and then we usually send one out, at the very end, right towards the end of the offer. We just pretty much tell people, be like, listen, this offer is going away. You're not going to get it again. So you better get in on it right now. Or sometimes we even add a timer that I know we've spoken about that a lot before, but we add a timer to the email that shows an actual deadline, and then the offer actually ends. And we always say that to not, say something's going to end and then not have it end. So I think it's a good way to get that last push of a campaign. I don't know. Do you have anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different things. So scarcity, of course, we talk about that a lot. And the other thing I think that is overlooked with these kind of emails that people, and we've spoken about this as well, is that not everybody opens up your emails. So although it may be your third or fourth email in the sequence, it doesn't necessarily mean that the people opening it are seeing all of them. So I like to say it's just really an excuse to continue emailing people. But yeah, I mean, basically, if you send out an email and only 15 or 20% of the people open it, that means 80% of the people haven't seen it. So, different subject lines, try to get, different opens. I mean, if we send out an email and we typically get a 20% open rate, we will generally see a 10% open rate to that same group of people in subsequent emails, which would bring up your open rate because it's going to the same list. So if you have 20% of the people opening it the first time, you send that out again, you get another 10%. That's essentially just, increasing your open rate to 30%. So,
yeah, I was actually looking at a sequence that we have actually an offer that's ending today for one of our clients, and I was just looking through the sequence because we have, as we spoke about last week in our case study, we have this automation that we've been using to put people through, and we kind of have, one side of the automation is to try to get them to open the email first, because you got to get them to open it, and then you don't want them to click on it. But I was just looking at the numbers, and we can see kind of with this automation, you can see the path that people take. And I was looking at it, and I think their list is about 8,000 or 9,000 that we put people through this sequence. And there was actually about 4,000 people in the wait part of this sequence that they haven't opened it yet. So you're talking about 4,000 people who didn't even see this offer at all. So to give that one last push and send it to your whole list, whether they opened it or not, just one final message, I think it could really, put the campaign over the top.
All right.
What is gated content, and how can it be integrated into an e-commerce store?
Yeah, gated content, you don't hear that word gated much anymore. It's oftentimes referred to as like content upgrade or something like that. I mean, gated really just means that you're requiring a visitor, a customer, or a person to give you something in exchange for, or give you their email in exchange for something, whatever that is, whether it's an offer, whether it's a download, regardless of what it is, it's an exchange. It's blocking off something for something else. Yeah, so gated really just it implies exactly what it sounds like. You're putting like a gate up.
When you say gated, it means like you go to someone's website and something pops up or something blocks you from seeing the content that's behind it, and it forces you to put in your username, password, put in your email to subscribe to their content or to get a coupon or something, or like Jason said, a PDF download or a valuable piece of content.
We're running a campaign right now that I think you probably forgot about for a client who is gating the offer code for an Amazon offer.
All right.
So basically, we have an Amazon. We're giving an Amazon coupon away in exchange for someone's email, and that is considered gated. I mean, you can't get the coupon unless you give your password. So I agree that in some instances you can X out of it or close the pop-up or whatever, but in the most, I guess, pure sense of the word, gated means you can't do something unless you do something else. So you can't get something unless you give your email. You can't view content unless you are a member of a particular website. So yeah, you just don't hear that much anymore, though. Yeah. I mean, that the gated thing, you don't really hear that term being used, and it doesn't mean that it's not happening. It's just, Optin or membership are more commonly used terms these days.
I remember gated for using Facebook a lot. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I remember back in the day, Facebook used to allow you to have like gated pages that you'd have to like the page in order to see the content to move forward.
I think that's kind of gone away with like likes really don't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, true.
So there's like and thing, so yeah, I mean, how can it be used in e-commerce? Exactly what we said. You can ask for an email address in exchange for an offer code, and it actually converts pretty well.
Yeah, we use it a lot too in blog posts. So you give some part of value. So say you have, top 5 tips or top 5 whatever, then you can offer 5 more. And what you do is you gate that part of the content, so they have to enter their information to get the rest.
Yeah, and in that case, that term has changed to content upgrade, really. So I mean, it's just a term that's not being used as much, but it's being the tactics are still being used, just in different ways.
Yeah.
All right, the last one I got for you guys is, what is a 2-step opt-in, and how is it effective at obtaining email addresses?
So a 2-step opt-in, I'm guessing they're referring to just confirming the opt-in, right?
Right, you sign up and then you have to go to your email and click a link that says
It's really a double opt-in, right?
Double opt-in, right?
So it doesn't, the only thing it does, it really is hinders getting people on your list. When I had my food blog, we used to do a double opt-in because people think that somehow it's better, the list is cleaner, that because somebody actually has to confirm their subscription to your list, and in some senses that's correct, but what I found is that oftentimes when you're making someone double opt into your list, there's a lot that can go wrong. There is, spam filters, grabbing that confirmation email. Sometimes the confirmation email doesn't trigger like I know with MailChimp, it has a hard time triggering that confirmation. I don't know why.
Do you have to on MailChimp? I thought we were having that problem, don't you? Or do you have to have a certain level of...
Well, you can use third-party software so that you can get around it. So like they don't allow you to single opt people in. Like they require you to have a double opt-in. But if you use a third party like MailMunch, you don't need that double opting in. So I found that, to be honest with you, the health of the list may be just a little better. But man, when I grew my list to 40,000 subscribers, I did it with a single opting.
Yeah, I don't really see any situation where you really want to do that. Unless you were forced to do it for whatever reason, and you're really not to because there's so many options, but I just don't see any reason for it. I mean, yeah, the health, but you're really going to probably cut your list in half.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes, it's so hard to make these blanket statements because I think it depends on the niche. It depends on the product. It depends on the website. Like, on my baking blog, it made sense to have as many people on there as possible. But on maybe a content blog where you're, B2B, it may make more sense to have better people on the list. So it just depends.
Yeah, and if you want to keep don't necessarily want to have just a huge list, like Jason said, of as many people as possible, you want to keep your list trim and the most engaged people, then yeah, it might be the better way to go. Yeah. You're going to have it'll probably be less expensive because you're not going to have as many people on the list. You'll have a smaller budget there. So, and you're right, the list would be healthier because they'd engage immediately with you.
Yeah, and so it just, as it relates to e-commerce though, because we talked about I had a blog and we talked about a B2B blog, but as it refers to e-commerce, I am personally of the mindset of there's a certain percentage of people that are going to open up your emails. So if you have 1 million people on your email list and 1% of them open, that's still going to be a bigger number than if you have 5,000 people on and 1% open, right? So for me, for e-commerce, it's not like people are just sitting there waiting for some kind of content from you. But so if you're sending out an offer, my point is if you're sending out an offer, I want as many people to possibly see that as I can. So in an e-commerce situation, I wouldn't do a double opt-in. I know some people swear by it. I mean,
we have signups for our clients, for our e-commerce clients, sign up to get 10% off or whatever. And we have an initial email that goes out automatically. It's not an opt-in, but it's just, hey, here's your 10% off. And even those we see 50%, they're high open rates, but you're never going to get 100% open rate on an email. So just look at that and you could see that not everyone's going to confirm their email. Even if they did really want to be on your email list, they're just not going to get the email in some cases.
Yeah,
or not open.
That's a good point. There's a lot of other ways to get a confirmation type action. So if what we like to do is when someone signs up for a coupon code, we don't like to give it to them right away. Let me back up. We don't like them to get the impression that they're going to get it right away. We basically say, where would you like us to send your coupon code, which would then kind of make them give you the correct email, and it would make them go to their email to get the coupon. So there's a lot of little things you can do to sort of get that type confirmation type action. But yeah, for me, in e-commerce, I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
So
is that it?
That's it, huh, Paulie?
That's all I got.
How do we do? Should we recap? Should we do a recap meeting?
Yeah, that was, I felt like that one was a little bit rough.
Terminology.
Yeah, but
I think we got it in the end.
That's good.
I think we worked towards it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, if you guys like what you're hearing and you love you're using the tips that we're giving you, please head over to iTunes or Stitcher and leave us a rating review. And if you do leave us an honest review, if you do live in the United States, and if you do let us know, we'll send you a T-shirt. So we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and I wear these things pretty much every day.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how he wears these free T-shirts every day.
Why is it weird?
I don't know. Don't you have any other? You used to wear other shirts.
I don't want to anymore. It's just it doesn't make. I mean, the winter's coming. I'm going to wear sweaters. And
You're
stuff.
probably going to force me to buy sweatshirts with e-commerce uncensored on them, aren't you?
Right, and you're probably going to fight me on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because we fight. That's what we do.
Right. You'll buy those things.
What would we do if we didn't fight with each other?
I really would be boring. Man.
You should hear how quiet it is when you're not here.
I'll stay home for 5 days if you want me to. I mean,
You say that, but you love me.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys so much. This has been episode 50, and you can check out the podcast notes at ecommerceuncensored.com. Thank you guys so much.
Later. Adios.